Hello. January went by very quickly, and so now I get to talk about my empties, the items I wore the most, the books I read, and things that I purchased this month to keep myself accountable 1 month at a time. So I'm not going to mention the things that I'm currently using since they still got a long way to go. So I'll just talk about things that I've emptied. So one of them is I did mention in the last video the La Roche Posay SPF anti-acne kind of moisturizer. As you can see, I ripped it open and scraped it completely clean. There's nothing in here now. So I would definitely recommend that when you guys are at the end of your products to cut it open and actually scrape it through, because as you saw in the other video, there's actually still a decent amount of products, and I usually cut it open and I just put the cap on top. That way things don't, like, dust doesn't fall inside, and I use it all up. Very proud of that one. Another one is the sunscreen stick. Usually I don't like to use sunscreen stick on my face. Technically my partner was using this and they finished most of it up, except it's kind of like a deodorant stick, so used up this much and there was still products in here, but I literally scraped it clean. So very proud of that one. It has a very greasy feeling. Would not repurchase this one either. This one pills a lot and I didn't notice a difference in my skin, so would not repurchase both. For sunscreen skin, I just wouldn't repurchase this one specifically because it wasn't crazy good or anything, but I'm just not a stick kind of person. I would just buy whatever stick is more affordable, and as a touch-up when I go on outdoors or vacations, but typically would not use this on a daily basis. And this one was in the last video as well. It's the Cocoon Pomelo hair tonic. I literally added a little water and shook it up, and now it's completely empty as well, but I'll probably still just keep the bottle in case if I want to add any other hair tonic. I feel like this bottle is a little easier than the drop, as this way you can just unscrew it and then drip into your head instead of the dropper. So those are the 3 items that I finished up this month. Now moving on to things that I wore the most in the month of January. These, starting with tops, these Uniqlo gray Heattech thin underlayer long sleeves, I guess. And I wore these 6 times this month, and mostly because they were a great layer piece. It was getting very cold, so I was constantly wearing this underneath my other topper layers. And so that's how it made up to 6 wears. Another item, similarly because of layering, that got enough wears, 7 wears this month, is the Land's End Gray Cardigan. And this one usually I like to wear it as a top itself. Sometimes I'll wear like a tank top or even like the Uniqlo Heattech underneath to stay warm, and then this is like as the top itself. I usually don't fully unbutton the cardigan and wear it as a cardigan. I just wear it as kind of more like a sweater top. Really cute. I got this secondhand from my partner's sister, and I love it. So cute. As for bottoms, I've been wearing these Lululemon leggings a lot, and the similar fashion of the Uniqlo Heattech. I wear them as a layer piece to keep myself warm, so I'll wear the leggings underneath and then a more baggier bottom over it as multiple layers. But I've also layered this under skirts this month for like a more feminine look, and I've also just worn it on its own when I go to the gym, and it got 8 wears this month. Very proud of this one. And one of my favorite bottoms of this month is these Uniqlo dark green wide trousers. They're so comfortable and I love the color. They're just so easy to wear, and would definitely recommend if you ever see this specific type of trouser at Uniqlo and they're on sale. Would definitely recommend. I wouldn't get it full price. I myself didn't get it full price either, but if you find them for about like $20 to $30 maybe, then I would definitely recommend, but not full price. On to jackets. The most popular items were this one-piece hoodie and this Uniqlo puffer with this hood. For the one-piece hoodie, I just really like the color. The color is really cute, and the graphic of Nami and is just very, I like One Piece. All good things to say. Nothing special, but just very comfortable, and it's a good oversized fit. And for this Uniqlo puffer, it's so warm, it's so puffy, but it's so warm. I feel like a ice climber from Super Smash when I wear this. It's not very aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion, but it just makes you feel so warm and cozy, and I love it. 6 wears each. Onto shoes, I wore these ASICS Gel-Cumulus 26. I wore these 8 times. These are staple. I've had these for years. They're so comfortable. The inserts are definitely flat now, but they're so comfortable. I'm still wearing them. I probably should clean them, but they're definitely very worn and loved. And another item that I worn a lot this month is these Converse shoes, these white ones. I got this maybe in 2018, around there. So it's been almost a decade. I wore these 7 times. They have these inserts that are more comfortable than the regular Converse, and mostly I wear these on days where I would go to the gym, for example, after work, but they're just such a staple looking piece that you can just wear them to work and then go right to gym afterward. So those are the items that I wore the most this month. Moving onwards to books that I read this month. I read 4 books this month. I finished Katabasis, The Rescue Cats, The Courage to be Disliked, and The Housemaid Is Watching. And The Rescue Cats was just kind of a fun book that I picked up from the library. It's quite short. It's a bunch of short stories about rescued animals, and specifically the author is a photographer, so he took photos of these cats, and then he wrote a little short story of each one. Really cute, simple read. Katabasis I finished. That one was quite long. It was interesting, but I felt in the beginning it was a little off to a slow start, and then toward the end it picked up very fast. So I did enjoy it still. If I were to go back, I would read it again, but I would not reread it now that I've already finished reading it, if that would help you make a decision if you would like to read it. The Courage to be Disliked. A lot of people raved about this book, and I feel that it did help me improve my perspective on life and people-pleasing tendencies. But I would say the format of the book in terms of the conversation back and forth was not my favorite. I think if I gave this book another chance and reread it, I may enjoy it a little bit more, but it was a good book. Would recommend if you're into self-improvement books and self-help books. And the last one I read is The Housemaid Is Watching, which is the 3rd in its series. Originally, I just picked this up because I was recommended the series by a coworker, and I didn't really go out of my way to find the book, but similarly to the Rescue Cats book, it was sitting on a shelf when I went to the library, and so I just picked it up. Google real fast that you didn't have to read in order of the series, so you could just go directly to the 3rd book, which I had. And so similarly to Katabasis, it was a little slow in the beginning, and I was definitely struggling to continue it. Although I really like the author's writing, the pacing itself was a little too slow for my preference. And so this book is actually divided into 3 different parts. So I was in the first part, and it was a little bit too slow for me. So I don't know if this would be an illegal move, but I basically went to the 3rd part and I finished it. So I knew what the ending was, and that caught my attention. That was interesting enough. So then I went back to the 2nd part, finished that, and then I went back to where I was in the first part and then finished. So in the end, I did finish the book, but I did not go in order, and I think that did help with me finishing the book and enjoying the book, because the pacing in the beginning was a little too slow for my preference, and if I didn't read the ending, I don't think I would have continued the book to finish it. So a different perspective on reading. As long as you enjoy the book and the process, I think that's what truly matters. It was a good experience. I would definitely check out the 1st and the 2nd book, although I've gotten some spoilers on the 1st one just based on recaps of the movie that came out for it, but definitely would check out the 1st and 2nd one if I ever run into it at the library. And moving on to purchases from this month, I went to the Goodwill bins for the first time, and it was a phenomenal experience. It was an out-of-body experience with how things were. It's so interesting. And I don't know, I've only been to regular thrift stores and I've seen the bins on videos, but I've never experienced it in real life until recently. And it was just very fun. The first time I lined up when they had the bins come out, and they have that rule of like you're not supposed to touch the bins until the workers say that you can, and everyone's just standing there, and then once they say go, it's like Black Friday, it's like Hunger Games. It was crazy. But yes, it was really fun. I was able to find some good finds from there. I got this CK coat for $7. It is so cute. Originally, I didn't quite like how the sleeve is not a full length sleeve. It kind of has this mock sweater sleeve, and it makes it look like you rolled up your sleeve and you have like a little sweater underneath. But it is still really like it. It definitely grew on me. It's definitely more like a casual piece. I'm able to wear it all day, for example, in the office on colder days, and I would just wear it button up all the way, just as it is, kind of like a top in a way. But I do wear it kind of like as a coat too, on where it's a little bit more warmer. You go into a restaurant, it's a little warmer. I just take it off. Really cute. Really like this. And it was funny because I actually didn't find this in the bins itself. Someone had found it and left it outside, but it seemed like they gave up on it. And so I stumbled upon it and I was like, oh, this is cute. And then right into my cart it goes. 3 more items that I found from the bin was this wool scarf and a wool and cashmere scarf. But I did mess up. I washed it with the right detergent, but then I technically didn't wash it myself. I asked my partner to do it for me, and I forgot to warn them to take it out and not let it go in the dryer. So it did go in the dryer. Unfortunately, now it's a little rough. It's a little scratchy, but I don't mind. It's still really warm, and I think if I really wanted to, I'll go back and soak it in a conditioner and let it air dry, and I think it'll go back to its more soft texture. But for now, it's okay. $1. Such a good deal. And then 2 more items is this little Hello Kitty charm. She's wearing like a yukata or a kimono, and it's just cute. She's a little yellow. I tried to wash her, but the yellow didn't come out, but she's still cute. Still good find. And I got this journal case, which was so good. I've been on the look. I was trying to thrift a leather purse or jacket and then cut it up to make it a journal cover. But then lo and behold, I found this at the bins, and it was perfect. It was already a journal cover itself. I haven't used it quite yet because the journals I'm currently using do not fit this size, and I don't quite want to cut it up to make it fit the smaller journals, because then I feel like it's such a waste. It's such a pretty cover. So I'm just leaving here for now. Once I'm using a journal that fits the size, then I'll use it. But for now, it's a good find. Leaving it there. And I've been obsessed with blind boxes. I've been trying to be slow and not jump head in completely and just buy a bunch of them, but I've definitely been, I've always loved little plushy keychains, and with how bad it's been trending, they just come out with such cute ones. And one of the first ones I saw was the My Melody one from Miniso, and I like the green one, but it's $30, and so I held off until now, because now it's not, the trend is dying out, so they're popping up on Marketplace for less than retail. And I found the exact color I wanted, which is the green, since I didn't want any of the other colors, and it was only $10. Such a good deal. And so my partner got me this green My Melody. It's a little melon. It's adorable. And then this month I also got 2 pair of shoes. I've been wanting a kind of waterproof Gore-Tex sneaker for a while, but I just never pulled the trigger since I didn't find one that fully I liked. I didn't want to just buy it online because I'm a little picky. I don't want to keep having to return them, and going in store, usually you would have to pay full price, and I would really rather save money and buy it on sale. So I've been holding out. I finally found one that I like. I went to the Nike outlets and I found this Vomero Gore-Tex, and it's so comfortable. The way it's very cushiony, I think it's more for running, so it's very cushiony. It's very similar to the ASICS that I have, and it just feels like you're walking on clouds. So comfortable. And so I bit the bullet and bought it, and I haven't worn it yet. I think I'm going to hold off on wearing it until it actually rains, or if I go on, for example, a trip where I know it'll be rainy but I'll be walking a lot. that was more the purpose for it, for those kind of situations. Similarly, I got these Columbia rubber boots. I do have a pair of Doc Martens that I usually wear for rainy days. That's the pair that I wear for any day it's raining or wet. But I don't really like to wear these, for example, if I go to the beach and I know I'm going to be stomping on the water because it's leather and seawater is not good for it. And plus, the way that the lace is tied up, if you like step in water, you only get about 2 inches maybe of waterproof before the water will seep in through the area and the tongue and the lace. And so that's why I thought this rain boot would be really good for those situations. And just also in the case where the dogs are almost, I think, how long have they been? The dogs are about 6 years old now, and they are definitely seeing wear because I've worn them so much. I don't just wear them on rainy days, I wear them on regular days too. And so in the case where they get to the point where they're not waterproof anymore, I have these as backups. And also these would be nice if I'm going, I don't know, like anywhere muddy that I don't want to wear my docs. So I got these on sale too at the Columbia outlet. Such a good deal. They were $33. Very surprising since I actually went to the Columbia site and they were full price there. They weren't on sale. And I also got this little pouch from my partner. It was from those little independent stalls when you go into like the outlet or malls, and it's so cute. It's like a little coin pouch. We don't know if it's a cat. He says it's a cat. I don't know what kind of animal it is, but it's adorable. And those are all the things that I was purchased or gifted this month. And on to February, trying to buy less items as well. Even though I really want to go back to the Goodwill bins, I'm going to try to refrain from doing so and be more conscious of just things that I buy in general. I will see you guys next month. Thanks for watching. Bye!